Hi, welcome back for another look at Star Trek, the official Starships collection. This time featuring issue 31, the Romulan Valdore, seen in Star Trek Nemesis. So I have the magazine in front of me and the ship here as well. So we'll put that aside and let's get to the magazine. So here we go, issue 31. This is the Romulan Warbird Valdore. Great picture there on the cover. Formation of 3. Let's see. It is Valdore type, launched in 2379. That's the late 24th century. Length 604 meters, and is captained by Commander Donatra. And we have our table of contents there. Showing us how to put the stand on and the specification page. It's operated by the Romulan Star Empire. It's a warbird type. Again, launched in 2379, 604 meters. It has disruptor cannons and torpedo launchers for weaponry. And its captain is Commander Donatra. So we turn the page. Great image of the ship as usual, along with some information about the ship and a screen cap from the film down there in the corner. More wonderful images and pictures and text on the ship there. Oh, and that's Commander Donatra down there in the bottom. I don't know, those of you that play Star Trek Online, the game that came out right around the time the 2009 J.J. Abrams film came out, but Commander Donatra has quite a bit of a role in that game. I'm guessing she rises to power of what's left of the Romulan fleet, or what's left of the Romulan Senate or something, from what I understand. I've never really played it. But from what I've read in the Star Trek magazines, she has some kind of a role in that story. So anyway, moving right along, we have our splash centerfold page there with the ship showing the various components and what they do, along with some more little information tidbits there and images from the film. This would be interesting to read. There's a section on the screenwriting of Star Trek Nemesis, showing a Reman there and some Remans on the ship, and the wedding of Counselor Troy and now Captain William T. Riker. This will be interesting to read because it's no secret that this was one of the worst Star Trek films. But for me personally, I liked it. Always have liked it. And back in 2001/2, when this movie first came out, I was extremely excited because it is the first Star Trek movie that I was able to see in the theaters. I remember I went with a group of friends, and a couple of friends really, and they wanted to see another movie that was showing at the time, and I wanted to see Star Trek Nemesis. So, being the Trekkie that I am, I branched away from them, and they went to see their movie, and I went to see Nemesis. And I thought it was like amazing at the time, even though I was like one of probably 10 people in that showing. So anyway, this will be interesting to see because everybody knows that this movie was probably bad, and it was kind of marked the end of the Star Trek franchise. Not the end of the franchise, but the end of what most of us Trekkies saw as the Star Trek universe for quite a while. With this film failing, and Star Trek Enterprise was shortly canceled after that, things seemed a little bit like gloom and doom for a while. And still, there had yet to be a Star Trek television series on the air since 2004. So anyway, this was the last film to feature the Next Generation cast. That would be Captain Picard and crew, This was the last film to be set in the 24th century. Takes place after Voyager, after the events that happened in that series, and this is also, in many ways, in some ways, kind of like a prequel-ish to the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie. At least some of the material was slightly built upon. So anyway, moving along. So more information about the film and the screen and script. There are some images of Shinzon there, before Data, and Captain Picard. And the designing of the Valdore with some conceptual artwork there. This would be another interesting part to read. More images and the final CG rendering. This is one of those ships that never got a physical model made as far as the studio is concerned. This was way in the end, not in the end, but this is way in the era where the studio didn't build models anymore. They used CGI for all their ships on the shows. And the on-screen appearances, which is actually only one. Its movie appearance was in Star Trek Nemesis, that was in 2002, designed by John Eaves. Basically, the crew of the Enterprise receives word from Starfleet that the Romulan Senate has been assassinated, and there's a new leader in town. His name is Shinzon, played by Tom Hardy, for those of you who don't know. Basically, he's well, I don't want to spoil the film if you haven't seen it, but basically he's on this mission to destroy Picard and the Federation, and at some point in the film, the Romulan warbird Valdore comes to the rescue of the ship, blah 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 blah. So, I mean, I would be more than happy to spoil it for you, but nah. So anyway, that's the Valdore. Here's a screenshot of the Valdore helping the Enterprise E out. And basically, here's a little piece of trivia. The Remans that you saw in the film were thought of as an undesirable caste by the Romulans and had been forced to work in the dilithium mines of their world since at least the 22nd century. Those of you who are die-hard Trek fans like myself will notice that they made kind of like a cameo appearance in Star Trek Enterprise in the 4th season during the Romulan arc when they had that drone ship thing, which is another ship we'll be getting later in the collection, by the way. They were seen kind of like bodyguards in that time, so it's kind of interesting. But anyway, they were used during the Dominion War, even though we didn't really see them on DS9, but they were, I guess, behind the scenes helping fight the Jem'Hadar. But they were fierce warriors. They've gotten a reputation for having been that way, and they were often used as the cannon fodder during the devastating battles. Basically, the Romulans let them do all the dirty work. Interestingly enough, the Valdore bridge scene in the film was actually a redressed set of the bridge of the Enterprise E, while the oval view screen was a reuse of the screen used on board one of the sonar ships in Star Trek Insurrection. So yeah, that was the Romulan Valdore, the magazine that is. Next up, I'll be doing a runabout Orinoco, which I also have here, so I'm really looking forward to that. So here's the image on the ship on the back. Never mind all the reflections there. So there's the magazine. And now let's get to the ship. Usual box, of course. Disclaimers, don't eat, don't lick, all that good stuff. Nice Trek logo on the box, StarTrek.com. Open this puppy up. Wow. It looks awesome even in the box. I don't want to take it out. And look how easily it comes out. Wow. First impressions. Holy moly ravioli. This thing is awesome. I was not expecting much, to be honest. I've seen other videos of this and I kind of thought, well, wow, this is really cool. Look at the detail on that. Just look at it. Look. Got the little warp nacelles there. Perfect detail on the hull there, on the bottom of the ship there. Let me see if I can move this around for you. Look at that. Wow. Good job, Eaglemoss. Look at the detail on the nose of the bird, so to speak. Pretty awesome. This is the third Romulan ship in the collection. This was preceded by the Romulan bird of prey from the Enterprise era, from the 2100s. That video is also here, so take a look if you want to check that out and see what that's like. And way back in issue 4 or 5, I believe, was the Romulan warbird that everybody knows and loves from the Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, etc. So, but anyway, this ship looks really cool. I'm really happy with it. My nacelle is slightly out of alignment, but I guess I can fix that, I hope. I'm really happy with this. Great job, Eaglemoss. I can't really tell which is the plastic and the metal. Ah, that was easy. So this part is the metal. Can't even hear it. And this is the plastic. So, yeah, this is pretty damn cool. It's nice to have a ship exclusively from Star Trek Nemesis. I remember back in the day, in 2002, wishing that I had a ship, wishing I had this ship, and now I do. 10 years later or so. The detail, again, it's just fantastic. The paneling all around is just great. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. Again, this is another one of those ships that we've never gotten a release of before. And as I stated earlier, this ship actually never got a physical model made, even for the studio. So this is the first time that it's even being made for the fans. So that's definitely cool. I'm really happy with that. Very, very happy with that. So thank you, Eaglemoss, for this. Makes a fine addition to the Romulan fleet. So yeah, next up I will be covering... Oh, forgot about the stand here. As usual, comes with the plastic Guduli here, and the stand, the Valdore is at the bottom. So yeah, that is the Romulan Valdore, seen in 2002 Star Trek Nemesis. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys all on the flip side.